What's up, guys? This is Galactic Bricks, and before we get into the video, it is haul time! So, here is the thing I got from Bricklink. No one cares, obviously. This is how you should not open a package. And onto the goodies. So, we got some Slope, Kanji Club guy. That's gonna be good for Coruscant. We got another two of them. Viceroy, yeah, Viceroy. One of my favorite characters. The prequels, he's a great meme for sure. This very expensive piece that shouldn't be expensive. Slopes. This very expensive piece. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Printed thing. It's cool. White slopes, bunch of jumpers, and this piece. So yeah, that's what we got for the haul. And yeah, see you next week. And this is the second update for building Coruscant and Lego. And today I have quite a bit of progress to show you guys. Obviously, the biggest difference you can see is the change in the roadway that I've done. And I've also done a little bit on this side too. And apart from that, that's pretty much all that I've actually accomplished, which was in itself quite a bit actually. Besides this little building, I've started to work on this little area over here, and I've just done a little bit of thinking about what I'm going to be doing with this section. But without further ado, let's take a closer look at all the details I've incorporated into the roadway of Coruscant. Alright guys, so here's a closer look at the details I have here. First thing you'll notice is that it's actually 2 plates high. So that's basically what we got going on there. Basically for Coruscant, I actually showed you guys an earlier prototype, and I started working with that and I realized that's definitely not going to be smooth enough. That kind of looks like a rockier texture, which is something that you would see more on Kessel or something, and Coruscant is a very urban planet. So I needed to use a lot more tiles than I used previously, and that's basically what I did. And I also used other pieces that had smooth surfaces. So like, for instance, like jumper plates you can see. I also use these groove pieces, clips. I didn't want to make it just perfectly smooth because first of all, I don't have a lot of tiles in this color. I need to be pretty conservative with that piece because I'm going to need a lot of smooth pieces for the buildings on top of that. And then the other reason is because I think it looks a little boring if it's just all tiles. Like for example on the modular buildings, I don't want it to look just like that. So what I did was incorporate some other pieces. So you can see I used a variety of techniques. You can look at a closer view for yourself. You know, I use slopes here, I use clips, ball joints, use some different wedge pieces, you know, whatever I could find in that little gray bin over there. But yeah, that's basically what I did. And yeah, now I'll go show you guys, look at the other stuff going on. Gives a nice, very Coruscant look, I feel. It's pretty fun. Always fun to, you know, put like a little figure on there and compare it with how you intended it to look. It's pretty fun to do that. Yeah, I can see I continued going on. I used some groove pieces, used some dots, some studs, used some clips, I used some jumper plates, used all sorts of pieces, and then up at that building, that's when I had it cut off. And I actually want to show you this one thing over here. It's actually a curved piece, so I had to go one down and just make the best of what I could. And one thing that's a little frustrating is maybe you won't notice it. It's actually kind of hard to see, which is good. I did use red and green filler for the thing, so hopefully you won't really notice it. Apart from that, we should be good on that aspect. If you're wondering why there's a bunch of trash cans over here, if I zoom out a little bit, there's supposed to be all sorts of lights going down that little strip there, and then another set of lights going on over there. And so that's actually why I stopped at this like exact line, because there's supposed to be lights going down the middle of it and going down here, and I would like to put lights in the mock, and obviously I can't do that if I cover it up with bricks. And one problem is I only made it two plates high, and I need to have 1 plate covering it, so I really only have 1 plate, and that's at best. Like, I'm not gonna be able to just have this all floating above because, you know, I'm using very small pieces, so putting wires in there is gonna be very hard to do. But anyways, I still don't know if I'm gonna actually put lights for this part, or I'll just have them turned off because this will be difficult to do in the front. But in the middle, I may be able to do it, and I'll actually show you guys what I had developed over here that might work. Yeah, so if you look over here, you'll see I used some more pieces, so I started to get a little creative over here. Because I was running out of tiles, I started using, for example, like this little piece here. This is actually it's like a door piece, I think that's what it is. And I just attached it by messing around with the piece, and it actually works like that. That's really cool actually. Same thing with this. This is a piece upside down. I mean, I could go on and on about all the details I use. You know, and it's a really fun thing to do. Greebling and like, you know, terrain and all that's probably my favorite thing to do in building a mock. So this is pretty fun to do. I'll basically show you what I have going on with this part of the build. And so basically what I did over here was I had to use some bigger pieces that like are longer to go across, but it's a little difficult to do. But I put like something like that and continued with this, you know, broke it up. That's what I plan on doing for the lights when I implement them in the mock. So that's definitely something very difficult to do. I don't know if that's gonna work or not. So I'm just trying to see how it goes. I'm not gonna mess up with anything because I pretty much messed myself up on this side because I can't really do much about that. Maybe I'll put a wire going on this side at the end. It might look a little bad, so I might not do anything with that. But that's basically what I have going on here. I want to connect it to these two buildings, you know, just to have the option to do so in the future. And then obviously I have this row going on, so you can probably expect me to pretty much take a pause on that area and move on to this part, finish this off, and probably go pretty far in that aspect. So that's probably what you can expect for the future. As for this little building, I didn't really show you guys too much about it. Yeah, that's what it looks like, as you can see. Yeah, nothing that special going on. Basic little building. Still trying to figure out how it's gonna look. And actually, one other thing I wanted to tell you guys is that I've actually been taking a bunch of tiles from the modulars. Don't worry, I'm not actually stealing it from the modulars because I love the modulars. I like to think of it as a loan. Basically, I'm temporarily using the tiles for the mock, and then when the mock's done, I'll put it back. I think it's actually a smart way to do it because it's just gonna be a lot cheaper, and I already bought a lot of parts for the mock, so you'll be seeing that in the future. So I think that's a good way to go about it. The modulars are not gonna be in the best shape for the next few months, but they'll definitely not be destroyed or anything because the modulars are great buildings, and you should definitely get them if you haven't already. Anyways, that's really all I got going on so far with the mock, so I think this is pretty good progress for today. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.